Well, Dave, obviously we saw how the wind kind of played into being a factor in the game last night. When you kind of look at today's game, do you think that it could have the same impact, and how can you use it, if so, to the benefit, especially offensively?
Yeah, I think yesterday the wind certainly played a factor. I think I'm not sure how it's blowing today, but it is cold out there. I think the takeaway is not giving away free passes, not just giving away 90 feet, making guys beat you with the bat, putting the ball in play. I think trying to get 90 feet, get on base, create some type of action on the bases. Certainly from a guy like Nola, who really good competitor, really good breaking ball, good stuff. But you can run on them, so hopefully we can create some stress on the bases and take good at bats. But excited to see what Roki does tonight.
You talked about how in his last bullpen, Mark Pryor was saying that the stuff was in a really good spot. I know you've said that with him, just the fastball command is the most important thing. How do you see that hopefully playing out for him in today's game, and what will be the biggest, determining factor that you can see in him that tells you it is in a good spot?
I just want to see Roki on the attack tonight. I thought we saw that, and he had a good kind of up close look at Yamamoto last night, how he pitched aggressively, was on the attack, and with his fastball, with his split, and so that's the blueprint. And I think that you can kind of manage these hitters by attacking them and commanding the fastball, presenting the split as a strike to get them to swing, to chase, put the ball in play softly. So I think for me, it's just kind of, I want to see the aggressiveness and just kind of watching his, his mound presence, poise, demeanor on the mound.
How much issues were with strike throwing were because of aggression in the zone, or was it more mechanical? Why do you think maybe some of the misses were as wide as they were?
I'd say there's an intent part of it, there's a mechanic part of it, so it's sort of a combo, I think.
Has he been open to the coaching and the ideas, considering the way the first two starts have gone for him? Do you feel like he's starting to open up to new ideas to try to be better?
I do. I think that with most players, certainly players that you just don't have a lot of history with, you want to kind of learn them. And from the player performance side, the pitching coach side, we've tried to give him the latitude and try to learn more about him and what makes him comfortable, thrive. And so as we've gotten more understanding of how his mind works, his body works, there's a lot more collaboration going on, which I think is really exciting for all of us.
It doesn't seem like you do anything randomly. Do you feel like Barnes can help him with the pitches and the pitch mix that he throws? What was the thought of having Austin catch him today?
I think for me, it's Austin's caught the last couple pens, and they've got a good rapport, which is great. I think giving Roki a different look, I think is helpful. Austin hasn't caught in almost a week, and I think that kind of being able to pour into him on one particular game night, I think is a good thing for Austin, and just kind of giving Will the day, and then he'll catch the next couple of days, and so it just kind of lined up, and I like the kind of relationship that's also building with Roki and Austin, so just a different look.
You mentioned Aaron Nola before. What makes him sort of a challenge from watching him from afar, but also what makes you think you can kind of take advantage of him on the bases like you mentioned?
Well, Aaron is, I just really like the way he competes. He's a strike thrower. He can strike his secondary pitches, got a good breaking ball, and so you just never know what's going to come. He can kind of keep you off balance. He goes deep into games, and so that's always a challenge when hitters like to hit the straight ball, and so he kind of does a really good job of changing speeds.
Did you get any reports from Shohei's bullpen session, and what would be the next step for him after today?
So I heard it was 25 pitches. It was fastball, change. Not sure if he threw any splits in there. Haven't debriefed with the pitching coaches, but they said, from what I heard, it was positive. His next one will be a touch and feel on Thursday, and then he'll do another full one next Saturday. So still won't be facing hitters yet, so we're not there yet.
Is there a number of pitches you'd want him to get to, or pitches he's able to throw before then he can get to face those?
Yeah, I think that the next phase would be using his entire pitch mix, and then that would entail probably like a 30 to 35 pitch bullpen. So that's kind of the next step, yeah.
With Roki, like obviously fastball command is going to be important to success, but also with somebody who, like you guys have talked about, is still trying to figure out, how his stuff plays over here. Like, how much does he kind of need that to start actually learning how to use the other stuff too at this level and actually figure out how to get big league hitters out?
Well, there's not a lot of variables in the sense of the pitch mix. It's a fastball split, and so I think those pitches play here. I believe they do, but it's about getting count leverage, getting ahead in counts, presenting both pitches as strikes, commanding the fastball, presenting the split as a strike, and letting it do what it does. So you just got to give yourself that chance in the hitting zone.
How much does it kind of hamper, the splitter's effectiveness when the fastball command is as wild as it is, and guys, maybe don't have to respect it as much?
It's everything. When you're facing big league hitters who are very disciplined and they're going to be patient. I just think that the approach right now, until otherwise shown, they're going to try to wait him out, and force him to be in the hitting zone. And if he's in the strike zone, then you can kind of flip the script a little bit. But I just think that they're going to want to have him earn that right to that respect that he can throw strikes.
With Shohei, why so long between bullpen sessions? A week between them. Are we still looking at slow play?
Yeah, I think that it's a week, but then there's also the one in between where he touches him out on a Thursday, and I think it's just more of trying to keep him on a similar 7-day program on what the schedule would look going out and build from there.
The offense was a little bit quiet last night. How important to have run in early inning for Roki to have his pressure off?
I think just for his own confidence. I think just to have a clean first inning and start to build some confidence, it'll be important for him.
With Roki, he's kind of gotten a lot of criticism from his last start, especially with the emotions. How hard is that for a young player, only 23 years old, to come into an environment like this? I mean, it kind of seems like the story around baseball. Not only do they want Roki to fail, but it's obviously they want the Dodgers to kind of fail. How do you kind of go around with all of that?
I don't pay too much attention to that, but I do think that he's emotional and he cares and he wants to perform for the Dodgers, his teammates, and I do think we're going to see a different kind of demeanor tonight, and I'm excited. I mean, I'm looking forward to him taking a step forward tonight.
How can you kind of tell with him? Because you've said before that he can be a little difficult to read, what he's feeling. Are you starting to get a better sense for that?
I am, but that takes time, and so the more time you spend with him, we're building a relationship, and he's building a relationship with his teammates and coaches, and so, yeah, it's something that takes time, and we're here for it. So I do feel I have a better understanding for him than I did, a month ago, which is a good thing.
When you talk about Roki being more accepting of different ideas and stuff like that, how much of that is just gaining trust in you guys, and how much of that is maybe realizing, hey, what I've been doing is kind of not really working at this point? That's
the key, and just trying to continue to, build that trust. And there's not one way to do things, but also I think that the more we can kind of work together from the pitching side, the performance side, what he's done and had success with, all that stuff kind of working together is everything. And I really commend him for being open to it. However way we got there, I just don't think it's a positive for us, yeah.
Do you think he has an issue with the pitch clock too, or did you have any feedback from him?
I haven't brought it up. Wouldn't surprise me, but he still had, half dozen starts with the pitch clock, including spring training and things like that. So he's had a lot of time to kind of acclimate and adjust.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Yep.